Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Vanessa, and in today's video I'm going to talk to you about what's on my Winterween 2025 TBR. So if you don't know what Winterween is, I'm going to link the original announcement video that's done by Gabby over at Gabby Reads. She is the creator of Winterween and Summerween, and I just have the best time participating. And if you didn't know, also Winterween and Summerween are very special to me and my bestie Bree because it's actually how we met. We met during Summerween a couple of years ago, and we just love hosting sprints together and have been given Gabby's blessing to go ahead and do sprints. So we are very excited to go ahead and offer a week of Winterween sprints. So we're gonna spend the week trying to get through our Winterween TBRs. I think I have a good selection of books. I only picked 3. That way I felt like it could still be pretty manageable working in with the rest of my January TBR, which I will leave that video up above in the cards for you to check out. So there are 5 different prompts for Winterween. The first one's to read a book in the dark or at night. So that's pretty easy to pair up with any of the books that I have selected. But there are some prompts that are a little bit harder because they're more prompt based rather than situational based. So what I mean by that is the second prompt is to read a horror or a thriller book. So I have decided to also pair up my Winterween TBR with my horror bingo TBR. If you don't know what that is, I will also link that down below. This is run by Sarah over at Wicked Reading. She has put together this year-long bingo challenge that I am trying to participate in. So for this first book, I've paired it with a prompt for horror bingo that is called genre bending. So it's basically to read a book that combines horror with some other genre. So I have decided to pick up Malicious House. This is by Megan Shepherd. This book is a horror book, and it's also apparently a fantasy book. There is a hard mode version for horror bingo that it is to read a genre that you don't typically read. So horror is not actually something that I typically read. I don't read a lot of horror, so it's already hard mode for me. I have only heard about this book because you'll see the next book is part of my TBR as well, but I got an arc of the second book, so I had to pick up the first one in order to know what's going on in the second one. So I'm going to read what this is about. So it says, of all the things aspiring artist Haven Marbury expected to find while cleaning out her late father's remote seaside house, bedtime stories for monsters was not on the list. This secret handwritten manuscript is disturbingly different from his Pulitzer-winning works. Its interweaving short stories crawl with horrific monsters and enigmatic humans that exist somewhere between this world and the next. The stories unsettle but also entice Haven, practically compelling her to illustrate them while she stays in the house that her father warned her was haunted. Clearly just dementia whispering in his ear, right? Reeling from a failed marriage, Haven hopes an illustrated bedtime stories can be the lucrative posthumous father-daughter collaboration she desperately needs to jumpstart her art career. However, everyone in the nearby vacation town wants a piece of the manuscript. Her father's obsessive literary salon members, the ink drinkers, the mysterious yet charming neighbor who has a tendency toward 3 a.m. bonfires, a young barista with a literary forgery business, and of course whoever keeps trying to break into her house. But when a monstrous creature appears under Haven's bed right as grisly deaths are reported in the nearby woods, she is forced to confront dark, otherworldly family secrets, completely rewriting everything she ever knew about herself in the process. So I'm actually pretty excited to read this one. I kind of don't really know what it's about other than what I just read in the synopsis, and I'm excited to see what I'm going to get into. The next prompt is to read a book with a house on the cover or in the title. So Malicious House definitely fits that. There's definitely a house on this cover, and obviously house in the title. Now I will say all of my books are horror, so that second prompt kind of fits like any of them. Like I said, there is a second book after Malicious House called Midnight Showing. This is one that I actually won the arc of off of Goodreads, and I thought it'd be fantastic to go ahead and pair it with this readathon and put it on my horror bingo board to complete. So this one being, the title has a number. So midnight is obviously a number, it's 12. The hard mode for this is that the title includes more than one number, so I don't win in that regard, but if you want to do it with the cover, there is admit 1 on this little ticket here, and there's a bunch of numbers on this ticket. So you could bend the rules a little bit, right? So anyways, this is the second book in the Malice Compendium. I don't want to read what the back of this book says because I'm afraid that it might spoil stuff from the first book, and I obviously haven't read the first book yet. So I'm going to read the first book, and then as I'm doing my vlog for Winterween, I will read what the synopsis is for this book. That way, if you watch the vlog, you have an idea of what to expect for both books and if I enjoyed these or not. Also, side note, sorry if you can hear the rain. It is raining quite hard here today. Now, the next Winterween prompt is to read a horror book that was published 5 or more years ago. I fortunately found out that My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix was written in 2016. It's definitely more than 5 years ago, which is fantastic. So for the horror bingo prompt for this one, it is going to be paired up with Satanic Panic, a book that features elements of the occult. Now, I'm not quite sure on the hard mode for this one. It is to have a physical item that's used in the book that's under the occult category. So that would be like a talisman, tarot cards, Ouija board, things like that. So I really don't know because I haven't read this book. So if you're watching this video and you've read this book, let me know if I could meet the hard mode for this. Let me just start off by saying I love that the cover kind of reminds you of like a old VHS tape kind of thing. I really like books that make it feel really nostalgic of the 90s. So this says, high school sophomores Abby and Gretchen have been best friends since 4th grade. But after an evening of skinny dipping goes disastrously wrong, Gretchen begins to act different. She's moody, she's irritable, and bizarre incidents keep happening whenever she's nearby. Abby's investigation leads her to some startling discoveries, and by the time their story reaches its terrifying conclusion, the fate of Abby and Gretchen will be determined by a single question. Is their friendship powerful enough to beat the devil? Like an unholy hybrid of Beaches and The Exorcist, My Best Friend's Exorcism blends teen angst, adolescent drama, unspeakable horrors, and a mix of 80s pop songs into a pulse-pounding supernatural thriller. Okay. So I guess it's more 80s vibes and not 90s vibes, but what do I know? There is one more prompt that is to read a novella, manga, or listen to a spooky audiobook. I'm pretty sure that between these two books, I will be listening to the audio. I don't think Midnight Showing has an audiobook yet, so I'm kind of reading with my eyeballs for this one. But I'm very excited that this will be my TBR for Winterween. Let me know if you've read any of these books in the comments below. If you are participating in Winterween, let me know as well, and let me know what's on your TBR. If you've gotten to the end of this video and you have nothing else to say, but you want to let me know that you were here, leave me a blood or ghost emoji, because, you know, it's Winterween. I'm reading a lot of horror, spooky kinds of books, so I'm very excited about that. Before you go, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're interested in seeing more content from me, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!